Hey everybody, it's Murgle, and today I will be showing you the changes to Inscription. Anyways, it will be very, very, very profitable. Big surprise there, right? It's always profitable. Inscription is always profitable at the beginning of every expansion. And that's because of the Dark Moon Fair cards, right? So definitely, these cards are going to be more expensive than any of the other ones thus far, most likely, just because of how rare it is going to be. Now, in any case, I thought this was the first Dark Moon Fair card, right? So I went ahead and crafted it, and it was a 715 item level trinket, which is what it says, right? And I was like, that's not very good. But then I unlocked rank 2 of it, and it turned into 795, and I said, well, this is a big jump. Maybe this is the Dark Moon Fair trinket. That's actually really good. So then I went to the trouble of going to the Dark Moon Fair, and I had 2 days to get 150 Dark Moon Fair tokens, and it just so happened I was lucky enough to fall in the Dark Moon Fair time. So I did a lot of trouble to get 150 Dark Moon Fair tokens just so I could get rank 3 of this, and I was like, alright, let's craft it and see how strong it is. 715. Huh? That's weird. 715. So, all the ranks do with crafting professions, it seems, is decrease the amount that it takes to craft it. Nothing else. So it's not like gathering professions. It doesn't seem to have any kind of special effect other than that. Very disappointing, actually, because it took me a long time to get those 150 tokens, and I had to put a lot of effort to do it in 2 days. But in any case, it didn't affect it. And then, of course, I got a quest to unlock the Dark Moon Fair card, and definitely gonna be worth a lot of money. These are, I crafted 2 of them. One is 8 of Dominion, and the other one is the Ace of Promises. Um, as usual, Dark Moon Fair cards are going to be so expensive, but these ones are going to be even more absurdly expensive because of this item, I think. The fact is, Dark Moon Fair cards, these are probably going to be like 20k plus each, and that's not even exaggerating, I don't think, because this item can only be obtained from world quests for herbalists. So, um, that is just pretty much is saying that you get like 5 every 2 days as an herbalist, because you'll get a world quest pretty much every 2 days for this item, which means you can craft 5 Dark Moon Fair cards every 2 days, assuming all 5 of the Felware went into the Dark Moon Fair card. Now, of course, it's tradable and you can buy more of these, but my point is there's going to be a very, very limited supply of this item. So I think in the first week, we're going to see Dark Moon Fair cards going for like up to 40k each. It's going to be absolutely absurd because those guilds are going to want to crush out the raids. You know, those rank 1 guilds that just want to demolish it. But in any case, very, very, very lucrative. Like, it's going to blow every other profession away, I think, to be honest. Because the Dark Moon Fair trinkets, they start at 800 item level. However, they can be upgraded to 875 item level. I actually don't know how to upgrade them. I looked a whole bunch, but I can't find the item that you're supposed to use to upgrade these. So even if I had the trinket, I don't actually know how I would make it stronger yet. So I'm going to have to figure that out. But in any case, yes, they can get up to 875, which is almost on par with Mythic gear, I believe, from this expansion. So very, very insane. That's like that with all the crafted gear. So it's going to be a crazy crafting expansion. Let's just say that. As for other changes, um, I can't get any of these patterns because these patterns are for what's called a Vantis rune, and it drops from the boss that it gives you the rune for. And what it does is, this Vantis rune can be traded. This is to replace the fact that inscriptionists don't have major glyphs anymore. There's minor glyphs, but they all give cosmetic effects, so they actually don't have any effect other than making something look pretty. But yes, the Vantis rune, what it does is it gives you 1,000 versatility when fighting that boss. Now, let's say you're a group of 10. That's 10,000 versatility when fighting that boss. That's like an overall increase of 30 to 40% effectiveness from everyone. So, well, yeah, from the whole group as a whole. So you're going to get 3% damage for all your DPS boosters. Your healing's going to be increased. Your damage reduction's going to be increased for your tanks. It's crazy. So these are going to be really effective. Now, I think the pattern will most likely drop in Looking for Raid. But let's say it doesn't. Let's say they don't put these patterns in Looking for Raid, which I don't think will be the case, but let's say they didn't. If these patterns dropped on only Heroic or better, this would be insanely profitable if you're in a raiding guild that's doing very successfully, right? Because let's say you're the first guild to kill Gul'dan on heroic, okay? That means you're the only one that can craft Vantis Rune Gul'dan, right? You could sell these runes for insane amounts on the auction house because other guilds are going to want to kill Gul'dan. So that means it would be so profitable for those really high up guilds if they only made this like heroic or mythic. Well, mythic's pushing it, but heroic or better, that would be crazy, right? You gotta at least do heroic to get these patterns. That would be so profitable. But I doubt they'll do that. It'll most likely be looking for raid as well. So it's questionable, but this, of course, is still going to be really useful for the guilds that are trying to do progress, and they are going to be purchasing these. Now, only one Vantis rune can be used per week. So let's say you're struggling on Gul'dan, well, then you can only use a Vantis rune Gul'dan. If you use it on any other boss, you won't be able to use it for Gul'dan that week. So, yes, it's only one Vantis rune per week. So, only use it on a boss that you're having trouble with, obviously. If you're already killing Cenarius, there's no reason you want to use the Vantis rune on Cenarius that week. As for books and scrolls, these are cosmetics for your sonic environment enhancer thingy, the music thingy, so it's cosmetic, just changes the song. Tome of Tranquil Mind. Talents can no longer be changed unless you're in a safe zone. So you have to be inside of an inn or something, right? You have to be like inside of a town. Like I'm in Dalaran right now. Obviously, I could change my talents. But if I was in the middle of right over here, I wouldn't be able to change my talents, okay? It's just, you can't change your talents unless you're in a safe zone. So the Tome of Tranquil Mind, gonna sell very well, I would believe. Because if you want to change to a talent, because it'll help you solo a monster better, etc. These are going to be used all the time, and it only lets you change it for 1 minute. So yeah, going to sell those pretty well. There's one called Codex of Tranquil Mind, and this is a raid-wide thing. You set it up, and it lets anybody nearby change their talents. So if you're in the middle of a raid, and 15 of your raid members were unprepared for some reason and they didn't decide to change it in Dalaran before you went to the raid, then of course that's what the Codex of Tranquil Mind is for. So there's that. Nothing really else. There's 2 relics. Relic of Strazan Mark, okay? And then there's a relic Aquamark. I think these are going to be a reagent for something because this is a lot. Like, that's 2 of the really rare herb, 8 of the blood of Sargeras, which is quite rare in itself, and very, very expensive to make in terms of difficulty. And it's not very strong at all. It's 715 or 750 item level with 17 item levels increase. This is something I got in a heroic. Just a very, a common heroic artifact. It's 36 item levels, and it's 825 item level. For what this costs, it's not good at all, right? This can be used right when you're level 100. So maybe if you're like twinking or some kind of form of that, then of course it would be really, really powerful. But other than that, as soon as you hit level 105 or better, it's going to be pathetically weak. You'll get better ones questing. So, again, I think it'll be a reagent, and probably along with the Strazan Mark, they're probably going to be used to craft some kind of reagent for the upgrading of the trinkets. I don't know. That's just my guess. I'm trying to piece together things that make sense to me, I guess. And Scroll of Forgotten Knowledge. This is an item. You can use it once per week. It just increases one of the reputations at random. I imagine if you're exalted in one, it's not going to give you that reputation, but I don't know. So I used it, and I thought I could use multiple. I thought it was going to teach me something else, but no, it just gives you reputation. Steamy romance novel. This is just a toy. You do a little quest and it unlocks it, and you can make a toy. Then, finally, the Unwritten Legend. This is an item. It says, start writing your legend. Killing enemies up to level 113 will also add a line to the book. Players trained in Inscription are 4 times as effective at book writing. When the book is completed, it can be sold to any vendor or traded for sightless eyes in the Dalaran underbelly. This can be traded. Everybody can use it. However, very, 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 very long to fill this book. It says players trained in Inscription are 4 times as effective at writing, at book writing. Okay, probably bugged, right? I started this book. I did one of these books, and I actually have it completed. Okay, maybe the first person to complete one of these books, because right now in the beta, if you die, you lose a buff. When you use this item, it gives you a buff, and you start writing a book. You have to fill it from 0 to 100%. Every monster I killed gave me 0.1%, which means 1,000 monsters to get this book filled. And if you died, you had to start over with a new book. You had to get a new book and start over, which kind of makes sense. That may not be a bug, right? It may be bugged at the rate that it's supposed to fill up, but I don't think it's a bug that you would lose the buff when you're dying, because of course, what kind of a legend dies, right? So, in a way, that kind of made sense. However, this is a lot. This is going to be quite expensive to get that many of each of these items. And this book only vendors for 44 gold, which is not worth it if you're going to create this book to vendor it at all. At all. You were going to. That's so crappy, right? Um, so definitely not that. But the book itself is tradable, right? So the Sightless Eye, which is a different currency that I'm not going to go into really, but people may buy the book just to get that currency, which means this book may sell for like 4 to 5k, people trying to get that currency really fast, right? So I think the rate that this book fills up is bugged. It's very, very slow. Maybe it's supposed to be more like 0.5% per kill or something, but maybe not. Maybe not, because if I'm training 4 times as a fast and I'm only getting 0.1, if you're not an inscriptionist, this is going to take absolute ages to fill up, right? So questionable. And it's questionable if the buff is supposed to be removed when you die. Again, this is beta, plenty of bugs, so who knows. But in any case, those are the changes that have come with Inscription. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoy. I will be working on other professions, of course. But as of right now, I know what some of the other professions do. And of course, trinkets are always the profit, man. I don't care what kind of gear it is. Darkmoon Fair cards, big money. This is going to be insane money. So thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoy, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.